with a live QA chat. I've not done one of these in a long time. Very impromptu, not put the feelers out there. So I thought I would just take a wee chance, chat to you guys, answer any questions that you throw in my direction, and just take it from there and see what happens. So, how have I been training recently? Well, I put a upload up yesterday, and it was concerning a bodybuilding program combined with burpees, which is something I've been working on for quite a while. I'm trying to merge the two, having gained a newfound interest in the natural bodybuilding style of training, and it's been going really well for me. I originally did it because I had more time available, thanks to my kids going to nursery, as we call it in Scotland, and I had some more free time in my hands. So I felt that going to the gym was going to be a new novel stimulus on the body, and I've get caught up in it, so to speak. I've been devouring information, trying to figure out strategies, and really enjoying the training overall. However, my first love is burpees, and always will be burpees, because they are one of the most dynamic styles of training that I have ever utilised in my whole training career. So it's been a lot of fun in that respect. So I felt it would be quite novel to try and combine both these styles of training and see where it ended up. And for me personally, it's been very effective. I have lost 14 pounds in the last month. I've been using an app called Macro Factor, which is phenomenal. Dialed in my calories. Don't need to do a lot of thinking in that respect. You tend to find that the calories are done for you by Macro Factor. It's very flexible, and it's focused as well, and it's probably the best one I've ever used throughout the years. Chris Crable, what's up, Lee? What's up, Chris? Not spoke to you in quite the while, mate. Burpees number one. I agree. I think burpees are number one. Why are they number one though? Because they work. They give you that high. Ban Madhu, hello from Delhi, India. Big fan. Did 10 sets today of one of your burpee workout. Fantastic. I am very honoured that someone in India is doing my workouts. I've got a good few Indian friends in Glasgow, and it would be really cool if they started doing burpees as well, but they are a hard sell. And of course, Chris, you agree because you do burpees all the time, mate. I'm sure your wife enjoys the fact that you slip off into the night to do burpees. Ban, I follow most of your videos. Thanks very much, Ban. That is a great honour. It's actually quite a funny story today, because I took my children swimming, and a guy came up to me in the supermarket and said he watched my YouTube channel, so that was quite novel. What suggestions do you have for someone overweight? Get the Macro Factor app, get your calories dialed in, start doing burpees, can't fail. Glad I made it, Corey. Thanks very much, Corey. I really appreciate that, and I appreciated your comment on one of my videos. It was very humbling. Yeah, so we go back to the question about being overweight. Just take action. Just take action. That's the best piece of advice, is getting the ball rolling. Do not overthink the process. Get an app where you can calculate your calories. I was never a big calorie counter. It probably is going against one of my principles. However, I almost realise that sometimes you need to be in total control of what's going past your lips, and if you can't control it via the the strategy of counting calories, then you're probably going to be onto a loser in the long run. However, whatever works for you. Some people don't like to count calories, and I totally appreciate that. I never liked to count them myself, and even to this day, it still is a little bugbear of mine, because it can be quite annoying having to put things in scales and that sort of palaver. And how to improve my burpees, want to get better, especially at Navy SEALs when you do. The best way to get better at burpees is just to go through logical progressions of pumps. Basically, start with your 1 pumps, master the 1 pump or the 6 count. I would master the 6 count. I think the 6 count is a more slow and methodical burpee, and it allows you to really sort of hammer home those 6 points of contact, using those slight pauses to build a wee bit of strength, really develop that mind-muscle connection, which is something you would never really say with burpees, but yeah, that's definitely a point. Master the 1 pump and then move on to the 2 pump. Master the 2 pump, move on to the 3 pump. Also master the kick-out style burpee. That will allow you to get used to bringing your legs in and out to make those transitions. And then after a while, tackle the Navy SEAL burpee. The Navy SEAL burpee will always be difficult. It's really difficult at the initial phase because you are having to mentally focus completely on the burpee and master the movement, particularly the knee raises. If you plan to train every day, is there any downside to training to failure while doing exercise, pull-ups, recovery? Right, that's a really good question. That's a great question. Training every day with the weights to failure, I would say that's probably counterproductive. It will be in the long run. However, bodyweight training is a completely different beast. You can train to failure every day with bodyweight training because it isn't as taxing on the recovery as, say, a heavy weight session, because weights really hurts your joints hard as well, can cause major DOMs, particularly when you're getting used to new movements. However, body weight is just it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Just get in and hammer it. Pull-ups to failure, press-ups to failure, squats to failure, lunges to failure. Just go at it. And what you'll find as well is that if you become adept at bodyweight training, particularly the high rep stuff, hi there, Earl Performance, my man, hope all is well. If you become particularly adept at the high rep bodyweight stuff, the transfer over into gym work is profound. I find that my recovery times in the gym are so low. What tends to happen is I can be training hard and within like 90 seconds, I'm good to go. I mean, I think the science says that you should rest 3 minutes minimum between sets to really get the full advantages of trying to induce hypertrophy. And I agree with that. But when I do like the weights, I'm ready to go after a minute. Like, and I can go and just hammer out the same quality a set. I want to ask this. Well, right, so you've got a job that's busy, Ban. I get that, but listen, mate. Like, and this isn't like I'm not trying to compare myself, but I'm in the same boat. I work full time. I've got 3 kids to take care of. My time is very limited, and it's hard to like fit in exercise, which is why burpees are essential because they can be done at inopportune moments. Fred, have you ever thought about cutting the beard? Fred, my wife has never even seen me without my beard. And if she did, then I would probably be looking at a potential divorce. So no, I am never cutting the beard off. And I don't know why people ask that question, because people seem to get a bit uppity about my appearance. I get that in a lot of comments. How long did he reach this level? About a year, 2 years, buddy. Well, science has proven that bodyweight sucks at super effective cardiovascular health. They absolutely are. They absolutely are, mate. Bodyweight training complements weights so well. So well. I'll get back to that. The questions are coming thick and fast. What's a realistic time frame? Forget time frames. Forget time frames. You're putting a limitation on yourself with a time frame, because this training doesn't stop. It's a lifelong endeavour. You don't put a time frame because you're going to be disappointed with time frames. Time frames are for work, deadlines. They're not for fitness. Fitness is fun. Fitness is a lifelong game. There's no timeline in fitness. The timeline is the day you die and you can't perform reps anymore. That's the timeline. So get that out your head. Get that whole idea that, oh, will I achieve this in 6 months? No, you'll never achieve anything in 6 months because the bar continuously rises. Continuously rises. It's not part of the human mind to ever be content. The fact we prosper as humans is because we're never content. We're always looking to push things further, invent things, create things, conquer things. That's what makes us what we are. So the time frame is the worst idea ever. It's marketing gimmickry, hogswoggle or whatever you want to call it. So hopefully you didn't get annoyed by my passionate answer to that question. However, anyway, yeah, so to go back to the body weight thing, body weight is definitely great for cardiovascular health. If I do a Cindy style routine, my dog always goes mad when he sees people go past in the window. Nippy Joe. Nippy Joe. Yeah, so like I use a heart rate monitor quite a lot, and what I tend to find is that my heart rate when I'm doing these routines is probably like kind of stuck between 150 and 160, and it's an insane cardio load at points. The 20-minute sessions no so much. The heart rate can go up. If you're going for 20 minutes, you want to be getting that heart rate up into the 170, zone 5 or zone 4 or whatever they call it. But the high zones, that's when the magic's going to happen. But yeah, the cardiovascular benefits are profound, definitely. Although I would always say that the best cardio out there is probably running. Any suggestion regarding diet, especially someone who's a vegetarian like I am? No, because I am not a vegetarian. I rarely eat vegetables, to be honest with you. That's a treat. I'm more of a meat and potatoes sort of guy. So I can't really answer that question in the sense where I can't offer you any insight because it's a diet I've never used myself. It was nice catching up with you. I have to go. Have a great day as well. Hopefully you enjoy work, mate, and stop working out in your working clothes. I see you in these YouTube videos and your overalls, and your workmates must be going mad, mate, when you turn back up into the theatres. Stinking of burpee sweat. Have you ever hit any burpee plateaus? If so, how long did it last? How did you get past it? I feel like I've been plateauing with Navy SEALs for a while now, but still improving the 6 counts. Absolutely, always hit plateaus. Always hit plateaus. I've hit a plateau with my Navy SEALs plenty of times. However, do you know what? Like, what is a plateau? I get it. It's something you need to bust. But one man's plateau is another man's peak of a mountain. So always be happy with what you can do. Set standards and like have benchmarks, but don't get caught up in plateaus. If you're plateauing, move on to another burpee. Like if you're plateauing with Navy SEALs, move on to 5 pumps, move on to kickouts, move on to like prison style burpees where you start to make those creative style burpees with a lot of transitions. Move on to them because you'll get caught up in the plateaus. It can put you in a training funk. I mean, I always look at the guys who, like, Joe DeFranco was good for this when you would do the West Side for Skinny Bastards program. And when you plateaued on a max effort lift, you just swapped it for another lift. You didn't keep plugging away trying to get an extra 2.5 kilos on the lift. You just moved it to another lift. So that's how I would treat a plateau, is that I would start another burpee. I would do another movement, which it seems to be the case when you talk about how you're still progressing your 6 counts and so forth. So yeah, definitely. A plateau is just, a plateau could be seen as time to take a break from that style. That's how I would view it. I would never beat myself up when it comes to hitting a plateau. It's time to move on to something else at that point and then go back, because sometimes the variation can help you destroy the plateau that's bothering you. So yeah, let me move this camera because this dog is annoying me. Yeah, so plateaus. So definitely that's something that I would consider. So feel free to ask any more questions. These live formats are always quite weird. A lot of dead air. You do any other workouts or one with burpee variations only? Can I do these every day or once or twice a week like I do now? Just do burpees, Ban. Just do burpees. I train with weights as well. Burpees. My burpee volume has taken a hit as of late. Like when I was in it my first 18 months, I was lost in a rabbit hole. But everybody that trains knows that they move on to something else at some point and take the tools away. What would be the best non-bodyweight exercises in your opinion? Oh, that's a great question. That is a fantastic question. Do you know what? I like the Larsen press. What do you think of the dead hang? You'll need to elaborate on that one. I don't know what a dead hang is. Okay, my best bodyweight exercise, overhead press, weighted chin up. I like the Larsen press as well. I like a paused bench. I also like Jesus, you've caught me out with that one. I've got so many favourite exercises. I mean, you're saying favourite that I enjoy doing because I don't enjoy doing exercise. I hate it. It's boring. It's manual labour. But so give me another more specific question. I will burpees and push-ups work front, but how do you work with your middle shoulders? Lateral raises, rear delt flies, rear delt machine in the gym, stuff like that. I'm just about to, I head to the gym, been feeling lazy today. Listen, see if you're feeling lazy, just bust out 100 burpees, just get 100 burpees done. 100 burpees always taxes you. Even if you're a burpee master, 100 burpees always still taxes you because you can then manipulate the intensity. Do I go for a PB? Do I do 101 pumps in record time? Do I go for slow methodical 6 counts? Just get 100 burpees. That's the go-to for when the voices start to like make their presence felt in your head. All right, sorry, a dead hang. A dead hang is, yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of benefits, particularly for spinal health. I tend to do them now and again myself for like shoulder stability, just for like if my back gets tweaked, they're great for that. So definitely, as the dead hang is something that I would be 100% behind in terms of it being a productive strategy. Yeah, Joe, sorry, I was trying to get to the end of your question there, but the questions disappear instantly on this. It's rather annoying, unless there's an option where you can see the questions. I think there is. Nope. Cancel. Yeah, like to go back to that question, I can find myself in the house sometimes and I'm like, I've got to do a routine tonight, and it's like 10 minutes wasting time thinking about a routine, and I'm thinking, do you know what, just do 100 burpees. See if you don't want to do 100 burpees, do 100 burpees with a squat chaser, do 102 pumps. I tend to find that the squat chaser routine is a great go-to. Bro, I started doing burpees and it's amazing, so I can only do 15 for now, but how often should I add more? Just keep doing your 15, and when it becomes easy, add 5 on. That's it. That's it. Your body will quickly adapt to burpees. Concentrate on technique. Concentrate on the 6 points of contact with the 6 count. Once they become easy, add 5 or 10 on and make that your new baseline. And within weeks, you'll be up to 100. Burpees, you can get, like, that's the thing about burpees. You can get, just like to say, a good win for Scotland. Did Scotland win, beat England? I didn't even know that. I don't watch rugby. Well done, Scotland. Thanks for that. The thing about burpees is people think burpees are hard. They go, oh, the burpees are hard, and they are hard for people that don't do them, but they're not really that hard. Your intense exercise will always elicit an amazing response, so just do them. Should one focus on completing the number of sets or doing sets for a certain amount of time, like in your videos? Can you do sets? Listen, man, whatever it takes to get to your rep target, just do it, but do it in the one session. Now, some people always ask, like, should I do 500 burpees but just spread them out throughout the day? Yes, you can do that, but I wouldn't recommend that, because the whole point of burpees is putting yourself through the challenge, is building that mental endurance, and you're not really going to build that mental endurance if you break it up into like sets throughout the day. So my advice on this is always do your one session. Just get it done. Yeah, my resting heart rate is in the 40s at this point. It's quite low. It's never been that low in my life, and that's with very little cardio work, in the sense where I don't go for runs that often. I don't like try and keep my heart rate in a certain zone for a certain amount of time to elicit a certain response. Although I have like did burpees in that style, mostly for content creation as opposed to being a protocol that I follow myself, just to get information out there and show people how versatile burpees can be. This dog gets bitten the life off me. Yeah, so that's how I would use. That's what my resting heart rate is. DJ Low-Key. So if I do 15, how long should my session be? However long it takes, as long as it's done in the one session. But if you're doing one a minute, like, you must be in some nick, so I would be ramping up and making it more intense. Just a quick hello there, big man. Hope you're well. Congratulations on how big your channel is. Grown well deserved. Thanks very much. It's kind of grown exponentially in the last month, and I'm really happy about that. Really, yeah, it was a landmark moment, because it was something I never really seen happening. I never predicted that. I thought my channel would be very, very niche, small amount of followers. But it was always about building a community in that respect. Just getting some like-minded folk, and thanks very much, buddy. Just getting like-minded folk and just getting the message out there. But yeah, thanks, David. I appreciate your comments as always. Awesome channel, brother. So thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Is there a single most important piece of advice you would give to an absolute burpee beginner? Yes, it's to go back to our previous question. Just take action. Just start the burpees. Pick the rep target and start. Pick the 4 count, pick the 6 count, pick your weapon of choice and hammer it home. There's no better way to, like, there's nothing better than taking action. You don't learn anything by taking action. Like, if I like to use my YouTube as an example, you can see there's a progression throughout my YouTube. If you look at my earlier videos, they're stupid, even the way I speak to camera. But you'll get guys, they want to start a YouTube channel and they want to get like the right lighting, they want to get a camera, and they're just, do you know what, you'll never learn anything by just starting that first upload and just letting the journey evolve and learning on the job, because that's how you learn. You don't learn how to drive a car when you're taking your lessons. You learn how to drive a car once you've passed your test. So the same with burpees, you don't master them until you start doing them. Do you think your chest should hit the ground on burpees? Right, that's a good question. Very good question. Yes and no. When you're beginning, and if you can do a full push-up, yes. Sorry, a question just disappeared there. Yeah, so, right, sorry. Yes. If you're beginning and you can do a full push-up, chest to floor at all times. However, if you have mastered the burpee and you've completely mastered the pumps, then you are free to play about with them. Sometimes I will go full chest to floor, full lockout, but sometimes, like when you watch these prison guys in America, they don't go full lockout, they get the pump, they really pump it up. Like when you watch Problem Child Fitness and company, like they don't go for full lockout, but that's not a bad thing, because they know what they're doing. They're pumping blood into the muscle. They're not thinking, oh, I need to impress guys on YouTube and make sure my technique is flawless. They can do a full lockout, but they're playing with the burpee. So master the craft and then you are free to play. I wasn't well a couple of years ago and I have panic attack-like symptoms, even just attempting press-ups. That's something I can't really comment on. Sympathies lie with you, brother, but that's a medical issue. That's way beyond my remit. So that's something I don't really talk about in my channel, like medical injuries and things like that. If I injure myself, I'll talk about it, but other people's, it's not really my lane, so it's something I couldn't stay in. Larry Bird, thanks. No problem, Larry. Pleasure. Thanks for asking the question. It's a pleasure to answer the question. This dog has bit my fingers the whole way through this. So I got a comment from a friend today, as well, who's seen one of my channels. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't looking for medical advice. Yeah, no, I know you weren't, but like I said, I've got to keep myself right on these channels. I don't agree with these guys that give advice that's not in their lane. But hopefully you can get over what it is that's causing these issues, buddy, and start to train like a fucking animal and get the results you deserve. They call those half push-ups shorties, just not a method to work the muscle. I just don't like it when someone says you can do 50 push-ups straight and do shorties, low half reps. Yeah, I'm the same as you. Like, if you're going to do a press-up test, do a full lockout Royal Marine test. Thanks very much, JML. Really appreciate that. But the shorty has its place. If you're just getting blood into the muscle, if you want to make a routine thick and fast, say you're doing like a pump chaser, Burpees, Ikram style routine, and you just want to get that pump, man, listen, just fire the shorties in. And I didn't even know that was a phrase. So thanks very much. You learn things every day, and I've learned something on this. So yeah, definitely, shorties are something you should consider when you've mastered the full Royal Marine style push-up. So yeah, I was saying there, I was talking to a friend today on WhatsApp, and he'd seen my video, and he asked me, what's with the accent on the videos? Because this was a fellow Glaswegian, and it must be quite jarring for some of them to hear me talk the way I do, because I don't talk like this in real life. Like, I talk with a very strong Glaswegian accent, but for my YouTube videos, I have to be a bit more accentuated with how I speak, because Glaswegian is a very thick language. And if I was to speak it in my natural dialect, you would be like, what is that guy even saying? So I thought that was quite funny. This is toned down. Haha, I love it. Yeah, that is very toned down. Very toned down. In fact, if you ask me a question, I'll answer it in my local dialect, and can you speak for 20 seconds in your natural accent? Aye, mate. I ask no worries, mate. I can speak for 20 minutes in my natural accent, man. Know what I mean? Aye, it's probably a bit too thick for you to understand and stuff like that. So hopefully you can decipher what I'm trying to say in that. But I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. Hopefully that was good enough for you, buddy. What did you have for breakfast? Do you know what? Actually, I kind of diverted today. What I had for breakfast? What a mad question. This is difficult sometimes to understand. I had for breakfast, I had a roll, a chia batter roll with 2 fried eggs and 2 pieces of bacon. I usually have porridge with quark, they call it, high protein kefir quark, something light. I understood 100%. Good for you, mate, good for you. Most people can't understand a word I say. Particularly in the podcast. I did a podcast with Igor from Zero Training Gravity, and halfway through he told me he didn't have a clue what I was saying, which kind of threw me off a little bit. But at least he was honest, as most Eastern Europeans tend to be. But yeah, that was fun. Okay. Alright, so if you get any more questions, file them in my general direction, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. My mother's family are from Muirhead, a lot of history from Scotland. Where is Muirhead actually? I know Muirend, which is where a friend stays. I'm from America though. Good for you, mate. I've got a lot of American friends, made for the Burpee community, and I train a couple of Americans as well online. So they all seem to understand my accent. So maybe I'm exaggerating a little when I say I speak in a thick accent. What are your favourite back exercises without a pull-up bar? No, I've not served. I'll jump into that question, Joe. I've not served. My favourite back exercises: bent over row, pendlay row. Love that. I like a seal row as well. I think the seal row hits the back super hard. Like hitting my upper back, man. The upper back's one of those areas you can hit every day, and it just responds. It responds hard. How many times a week do you work out? How many times is a good number? Sometimes I work out twice a day. I take one rest day a week. I'm taking a rest day tonight, which is why I did this video. I was tempted to train, but I did a heavy day in the gym yesterday, and it's kind of damaged me a wee bit. So I've took a rest day. I needed to take a rest day. I've been training all week, so I've needed to let myself recuperate, and I've had quite a stressful day. I took my kids swimming, and we had great fun, but when you're trying to get kids dressed and things like that in a swimming bath and get home quickly, it's any parent can attest. Have you always been a personal trainer? Yeah, I've been a personal trainer for a good few years now. I don't know how many. I've worked in gyms for 15 odd years, and personal trained for probably about 10, 12. So yeah, strong supporter for what you're doing. Thanks very much, brother. I really appreciate that. So yeah, but I've kind of moved on to online coaching. I do a couple of PT sessions, but online coaching's where it's at nowadays, particularly if you're time stretched. Not sure if you already have answered this, but what's your favourite burpee variation? Oh, the 6 count. The 6 count is just, the 6 count is the daddy. I like Navy SEALs. I like one pumps, but the 6 count is just slow and methodical, and it takes you into that zone because there's a beautiful tempo to it. I know that the Iron Wolf released a video, got a run. Cheers for Boston. One of my clients is from Boston. That's coincidental. See you later, buddy. Yeah, there was an Iron Wolf video recently released where he made a comment towards people who were doing fast 6 counts, and I know people who do fast 6 counts. I'm a believer in the sense where I agree with the Iron Wolf and think that a true 6 count should have a tempo. However, I'm not going to grudge people the way they do burpees. If people want to do fast 6 counts, then have at it, because I'm a firm believer. The fast 6 counts always look sloppy to me. I don't think it's the fact that, I appreciate your inspiration, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate yours. I don't think it's the fact that single D5, if I'm going to take me up, body weight, yeah, if you can throw those questions back at me again, because I'm like 3 questions behind. In fact, I've actually forgot the question I was answering. Oh, the nature of the live video. The nature of the live video, it's hard gone. Yeah, right, so fast 6 counts. I don't think it's the 6 count, that the 6 count being fast, it's the issue, right? If you want to do a burpee like that, go for it, right? I think it's when you start to bring the count into it, it starts to there's a jarring. You hear the count, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it kinda, it looks a bit weird. Gotta go and sleep. Hey, 015, I've started doing some exercise. I'm assuming that's directed towards someone else. Yeah, so it can kind of look sloppy. If the count isn't part of the burpee, then it wouldn't look sloppy, because it would just look like a good burpee. But it's the combination of count being synced up with the burpee. It jars with some people, because as we all exercises, there's purists, there's puritans, whatever you want to call them. There's people that think things should be adhered to a certain manner for it to be considered a certain type of burpee. And I can kind of see where they're coming from, but ultimately I don't even care if you add a jump to your burpee. I really don't. I don't care. I only I'll give respect to anybody that tries burpees, tries high rep burpees. If they want to add a jump, then go for it. It's not an issue to me. It's your burpee at the end of the day. That's one of the things I've always put out there, is that your burpee is your burpee. You will create your own burpee over time. Everybody's style is different. Everybody's got their own wee flourish. Everybody's bodies move differently. Everybody's got issues with certain body parts, but it becomes your burpee. It's constantly being tweaked. My burpee is constantly being tweaked. Constantly being tweaked. There's wee parts I learn. I look at other people and go, that's good. I mean, add that. Burpees, do they help your range of motion and flexibility? Of course, they do. It's a very, 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 very good mobility exercise. Floor standing, come on, you can't beat that. Cheers for the answer. How would you go about starting out in the fitness industry? Make sure you've got in the trenches experience from the get-go. The PT courses are a lot of rubbish. They're very generic. You need it's like driving, to go back to that analogy. You know that when you pass your test, you're not driving the way that the instructor told you. You're not feeding the wheel. You're not like doing these wee things that you need to do to pass your test. And it's the same way a personal training qualification. When you do a personal training qualification, you just get it done. You do it to the letter because they want it done a certain way, and it will not be the way you think it should be done. So yeah, right. So you'll have to ask these questions again. I'm missing them, man, because I'm getting them thick and fast. So back to the PT question. So I would have in the trenches experience. That's how I would go about it. Because that's going to be the most important thing. Your direct experience with training and how it works. Obviously, you need to take on board research and like the literature. However, you'll see patterns emerge, and the principles will always remain the same. Fads and stuff like that, they always come and go, but the principles always remain the same. And another thing is that if you're doing personal training, you need to be a people person ultimately. You can be a really like crap personal trainer, but if they like you, they will stick with you because they like your chat. That's definitely probably one of the most important things, being a people person. But yeah, if you're British bound, if you're British based, get your level 2, get your level 3, get into a pure gym, just work a gym, get on the floor experience, and then just take it for there. It's a very, very low barrier to entry, this game. Everybody's want to be a personal trainer nowadays. Guys are sitting in their house doing an online course and they're getting a job in a gym. Anybody could pick a gym job up in pure gym. They're crying out for people. So that's how I would enter the fitness industry, that low barrier level. Right, so I had a couple of questions there which I missed out. I'm sorry, you get 2 or 3 at the same time and they're on the screen for seconds, particularly when you're watching your phone. Plus this dog is biting the utter crap out my hand. Is that right, buddy? So yeah, definitely that's something that's quite hard to deal with on this YouTube live format. I don't even know if I'll upload this. Sometimes I just like to talk to people and answer questions. Sometimes I'll upload it. I've done a few in the past and I tend to find that you get trolly comments, which has not happened like on this video. But you get some really weird comments and as people try to throw you off guard, it can be quite... And that put me off the whole live concept. There was like one guy in particular that was being really aggressive and trying to catch me out, and it was just, I thought, what's the point? Anyway, yeah, in response to that question about the I Am Wolf and William Ainsworth, yeah, I seen the William Ainsworth videos a while ago, and I seen them through the I Am Wolf channel because he made a comment. So yeah, he made a comment about William Ainsworth, so I had a look because, like, I love all the I Am Wolf stuff. He's always been a big influence for me in the burpee sphere. I Am Wolf's latest workout was a bit of a burner. Was that the one with the 10 pump and every 10 3 pumps? I seen that. And it looks brutal. I left a comment on the I Am Wolf's page because I genuinely believe that the I Am Wolf does the best routines in terms of programming. Yeah, I seen that. His routines are... I always look at it and go, why didn't I think of that? Like, why did I not come up with these style of routines? And that's the beauty of the Wolfies. Routines they're good and they're very difficult. You always get into your, like, I always tell people, make your own routines up. Don't follow other people's routines, like particularly guys with their own channels. You tend to find a lot of guys with channels would do each other's routines, and I think that the true way to getting ahead in this game is to create your own routines. Hannibal for Kings to Cat Lol, OG. I agree with you absolutely. But you should make up your own routines. One principle I always follow though is that keep your routines simple. You look at I Am Wolf's routines and the beauty is in their simplicity. There's burpee guys I'll see and like they'll do good routines, but they're in my opinion they're all over the place. There's too many variations, too many quick transitions into the variations. And you kind of lose the flow quite quickly and it can just put you off your step. Whereas if you watch an I Am Wolf, it's like 25 1 pumps, 25 2 pumps, just simple programming. And that's the best programming, How do you land on burpees as your primary workout? Makes a lot of sense for me, especially after. Resistance bands, not a fan unless they're on the weights. How did I land on burpees? I've told this in many a podcast. It was through lockdown, through being having children and not being able to access the gym, looking for something new. Reading Mythical Strength from Reddit, who was doing burpees, which kind of gave me validation because I always thought burpees were a pathetic exercise. And then when I seen this completely jacked guy was doing them, I thought, well, if he's doing them, I'm going to try them. Starting to fall in love with the process, looking for burpees on YouTube. and finding the Iron Wolf, and that's how it all started. I always credit the Iron Wolf with starting me out in this game, not personally, but giving me the inspiration to start a video channel, because like I've explained before on a few of these podcasts, the idea that this guy was putting a phone up in his like barracks and just filming a long ass routine was just mind blowing to me. Mind blowing. It spoke to me on so many levels, and it kind of gave me the inspiration to do the same, because I thought, you know what, like no one cares, and that was a kind of one of the principles that the Iron Wolf also espoused, was the nobody gives a mentality, and it kind of, you could see that in his routines. Like, he didn't care the fact that there was no drones flying over the barracks and like filming them for flashy angles, and the lighting was making his muscles look ripped. He was just working hard and blowing people away, blowing them away. So yeah, that's how I get into burpees. That's how I get into the burpee game. And to be honest with you, just to kind of like to tell guys, I'm of average ability, fitness ability, average genetics, whatever you want to call it. So if I can do it, anybody can do it, really. Like, just start your burpees, just get it done. Get the burpees done, man. Because you'll get better at them. You get better at things by doing that thing. And that's something that's lost on people. Something that's lost on people. Thanks very much, Tom. Thanks very much. It's the first donation I've ever had during a live. That's what I would say to people. Like, as humans, we tend to overthink. We look for perfect. Hard work and real training for pure vanity aesthetics. I agreed 100%. We overthink things. We wait for perfect. Like, you get people that want to buy a mortgage, and they're like, I'm going to wait till the housing market settles down and then I'll buy a house. And you're like, just buy your house, just get it done. Things will even out over the course. Recessions hit, things like that. There's always chaos, but just get it done, because then that's when the process starts. And it's the same with burpees. Just get them done. Just get them done, because human beings thrive on repetition. We only get good at things by repeating the process. I always say this, it's like, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Very deep, mate, very deep. I'll have to use that one. I'll use that one in future. But you're right, you're absolutely right. But yeah, people, I get so many comments. How many should I start with? How many should I start with? I don't know. Like, I'm just giving a number. I can't tell you. Like, I'll give people an arbitrary number. I get that. I'm just trying to give them a bit of like guidance. But I don't know how many burpees you can do. I don't know your physical condition. I don't know your limit. You need to find your limit, and you need to work to your limit, because limits are broken and new limits start to form. But the key to this game is just beginning the process. That's what everybody does. You need to repetition, rep city, repetition. You will not achieve mastery without repetition. The two of them go hand in hand. So never overthink the burpee. Don't get worried about the burpee. I get worried about the burpee sometimes. That's probably a bit of a broad statement. But you need to just go and take action. So there you go. Hi, I got super inspired by your videos. I went too hard and messed up my back. It sucks getting old. Well, listen, mate. So I've had a few people say, yeah, I had a guy come in my comments and went, you should have put a disclaimer on that. I did a Navy SEAL and my shoulder exploded. And I'm like, dude, listen, this is an advanced burpee. Like, any exercise carries the risk of injury. It carries the risk of injury, any exercise. So you're taking a risk when you do any exercise. That's just the brass tacks. So in that respect, you need to ensure that you've got a degree of fitness before you start something quite intense. Anybody can do a 4-count burpee. If you can bend over and pick up a pencil, you can probably do a 4-count burpee. And that's probably your level or whatever. So that's where you should be starting off. But you will always get injured doing things. I get injured changing my son's nappy. Like, I get injured, like, I can put my back out sneezing at points. You're always going to get injured, but the risk of injury, like, is the price we pay for being active. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, my dog's for down, down, down. The risk of injury is the price we pay for being active. So I'm sorry to hear you get injured, buddy, and so forth, but I'm sure you'll heal up, buddy. I'm sure you'll heal up. I've been following the busy dad method on off, but always end up going back to a longer time. But can you repeat that question? It's went away, Tom. When I first started Burpees, I was only for a few days after a week, for the first after 2 weeks. Build a stronger back. Chin-ups, man. Chin-ups, chin-ups, chin-ups all the way. The best exercise in the world other than burpees is the chin-up. The chin-up is the physique enhancer. It's the physique definer. It's like the movement human beings were born to do, man, because we're born to pull ourselves up to things. We've evolved for apes who do it all the time. So we've retained our lats in order to like pull ourselves up things. But we also lose that because we tend to be inactive. We've become quite an inactive society in a lot of respects. So chin-ups, 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 and a row of some sorts, bent over row, pendulum row. All right, back to Tom Sawyer. Can you repeat that question, please? It was about, I think it was about the busy dad. So, right, I think I got it. You go back to the longer sessions. Yeah, well, the busy dad's like it's a protocol for a certain type of person. People that are time stretched, and that's the beauty of the busy dad system. It gives them that ability to exercise. So like I'm also like at this point I'm currently following busy dad principles to a certain degree, which is better for conditioning in your opinion. Right, okay, so that's quite a good question. Endurance, mental endurance, the longer session. But conditioning... Right, 2 seconds, I've got stuck here. Come here, you. Right. Right now, I am doing the shorter sessions, the 20-minute busy dad style principles, because I'm trying to keep muscle. I think the endurance sessions might be conducive to keeping muscle. I think you can lean out too much doing the long endurance sessions. But I prefer doing the longer sessions. I think they're more accomplished. I think you achieve a greater sense of reward when you complete a longer session. Definitely. So if I was looking at it from that angle, I would definitely go with the longer sessions. However, you have to like also factor in current goals as well, current like time constraints. The busy dad is great for conditioning as well, but conditioning for those obviously they short, sharp burst sessions, they just power through, grind hard. Whereas the longer session, you can kind of take your time, still get into the darkness because you know you've got so many reps to complete. But the busy dad one, like one of the downfalls of the busy dad, I think, is that it can probably increase anxiety before a session because it is so hard. If it's done to Max's level, Max is like an absolute animal, and he goes at it hammer and tongs, and like when you're doing that consistently, like there'll come a point where you're going to head into a session and you're like, I cannot be asked with this. I'm doing those William Wallace burpees. Geese Pichu. What's the longest burpee session you have ever done? I definitely agree with anxiety before a workout. What's the longest burpee? The longest burpee session I ever did was the 2,500 burpees. That took just over 5 hours. That was horrible. Like, it was for charity, but it's something I would never do again because the benefits, there's no benefits to it. That's like an ultra marathon. No benefits for that session at all. That put me off burpees for about 2 weeks. What's your thoughts on the carnivore diet? I think it's a gimmick. I think it's a total gimmick. You can't beat a balanced diet. Carnivore diet's the sort of diet when you're like dying to lose weight and you're going, I'm going to go carnivore diet, which is the time frame thing again. In my opinion, I want to get ripped. You'll get ripped if you're in a calorie deficit and you work hard regardless of what you eat. There's no bones about it. things like the carnivore diet take a certain mindset. They take a certain... Oops, you're right. They take a certain mindset to complete. So I'm not a fan of things like the carnivore diet. They don't seem right to me. And try to do the carnivore diet and do burpees as well would be... You need your carbs for burpees, man. I've went keto while doing burpees, and I lasted about 2 weeks because it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening at all, man. I needed the carbs in my system to like complete my sessions. It was horrible, horrible. The actual eating was good, but the process was horrific. Love your content, brother. Curious on what your diet is like. Yeah, it's pretty clean, man. It's pretty clean. Like I'm trying to hit my macros. I eat a lot of chicken. I eat a lot of chicken sausage. Ground beef or a mince as we call it in Scotland. Potatoes, lentils. I like a bowl of cereal at night. I like my porridge. I like eggs. Just really simple, super simple. Trying to come under 2,200 calories at this point. 2,300, I think. It's pretty easy to do. Although I had a KFC tonight. I took the kids swimming and I got them a KFC, and I've been dieting quite hard, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a KFC tonight. Why not, eh? I like my chicken, so mighty bucket for one. So that's what my diet's like. It's very straightforward. Very clean, but now and again I like a wee bit of chocolate, but I've not been eating that as of late because I'm trying to get ripped. So... Right, okay, so I'm going to go off in the next 5 minutes because my battery's about to run out. How much do you weigh? I'm currently weighing in at 153 pounds. I was up to 167 pounds in December the 26th. And that was after Christmas, after the festivities. But at this point, I am now in the 153 zone. I'm trying to get down to 147, which is a bit daft. I'll probably lose a bit. Like, it's very light. I've never been that light in my life. But it's a challenge to get down there. I'm currently doing the T-Nation Transformation Challenge, which is quite fun. Which is just try to change our physique in 6 months. But I think I'm going to reach my goal by the end of this month. But the goal is to get down to 147, maintain that for a couple of weeks, and then start bulking again, start adding some muscle again. Welterweight. Is that welterweight? Aye, welterweight. Featherweight. I'll be a featherweight soon. But yeah, I'm just trying to kind of get the weight down, get as lean as possible, get the body fat down quite low so I can make my body more responsive to like the hypertrophy work. That's the plan. That's the plan. And that's something I'm doing right now as well, is I'm trying to kind of blend bodybuilding with burpees at this point. I have a similar, you look, I'm sure you'll cut them in 6 weeks. Thanks. Do you take a pre-workout or a waste of money? Do you know what? I actually bought a pre-workout recently because I've been going to the gym. I thought, I'm going to buy a pre-workout and see what it works like. And they're rubbish. They're rubbish. They make you feel horrible. There's like almost like a come down from them. Thank you for some questions. Just start following on Instagram. Just getting back into training for longer. Thanks very much. Appreciate the follows, buddy. So slow training. No, I don't do slow training. Sometimes I do slow and methodical 6 counts, but slow training is just something that no. Burpees, there should be a degree of explosion in burpees. I don't believe in being slow in the concentric movement in any exercise. When you're in the concentric movement, it should always be explosive. Always be explosive. The eccentric, slow it down, whatever tickles your fancy. But ultimately, I would always say that the concentric should always be explosive. Right, so listen, give me 2 more questions and I will leave you to it. And I'll upload this. Why not, eh? Tom was so kind to donate a $5 to my channel, which I'm very grateful for. But, so I'll upload it in the honour of Tom Sawyer to show that his money was well spent. Right. So yeah, I got a question there as well, which I missed. Unfortunately, so that's what it is. Thank you. No problem at all, Kevin. No problem at all. What are you doing, me, man? This dog is he's a handful. I'll tell you that right now. Right, thanks, brother. I am new to this. We'll be uploading some of my work soon. Go for it, mate. Don't overthink it. No worries, mate. I found your content inspirational. Thanks very much, Tom. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's a great honour. Believe me, it's a great honour when I get these messages, because I'm just a guy doing burpees in his house after he's put his kids to bed. I never really imagined it would inspire people. It was always about my journey, but it kind of seemed to grow legs and move on from that point. And I'm just, honestly, man, it's very humbling. It's very humbling. Sometimes I can't get my head around it. Sometimes I can't get my head around it. But that is what it is, man. Anyway, listen, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the questions. I really enjoyed that. Really, really enjoyed that. I'll probably try and get a couple of these done again. It's very difficult for me to do them because I don't know how things are going to pan out in the house with regards to getting my kids to bed. So in typical live format, you can put an announcement saying I'm going to be on live at this time. So it's difficult to do that. So it's most of the times they might be impromptu. But I've really, really, really enjoyed the process. It turned out to be a lot better than I thought it would. The questions came thick and fast, and I'm very humbled by the words of support, the words of encouragement, and the questions. So just to close it off, as I've already mentioned, just do burpees. Do burpees, do chin-ups, do squats, do lunges. Do it all, get good at it, get proficient at it, try and do them 3-4 times a day. Whenever a wee window of opportunity arises, get them in there. Just finished my 100 burpees. See, I inspired Joe to do 100 burpees during the live stream. Just get them done. Get them done. My format, when I first started doing this, was breaking up my workouts into microdosing style, which was doing 100 burpees in a day, another 100 burpees at night, and 100 squats a night, breaking it down into wee sections, always having those rep targets, though, that you were going to complete. And what happened was that built up the resilience and the overall base. That built up the overall base, which allowed me to then have that platform to kind of improve upon. So don't think, I need to do 300 burpees, I need to do 400 burpees. Just have your rep targets. Try and break your workouts down into small chunks in that respect. Break up into press-ups, squats, lunges, burpees, I don't care, and get good at them. Your body will adapt quickly and you'll get better at it. And next thing you know, you'll be doing things like 500 burpees, 1,000 burpees, 500 Navy SEALs. That's how I did it, and that's how you can do it. Anyway, guys, listen, thank you. Thanks for staying strong. Thanks for staying strong, and thanks for staying conditioned.